Welcome to Germany vs. USA, and today we're being forced to talk about the death penalty.
The death penalty. Very controversial topic. We just basically want to throw some facts out there and want to let you guys, I guess, discuss it out in the comment section. Illegal in Germany and the European Union, actually.
Right. It's a stipulation to even enter the EU.
Right.
To Turkey? Was Turkey?
Yeah, that was kind of an issue because if you still have the death penalty, you can't be a member of the European Union, right? Exactly. Whereas in the States?
In the United States, it's still legal. It's actually 32 of the 50 states it is legal in. A few states in recent years have talked about it one way or the other. But yeah, still 32 of the 50 it's legal.
Right.
And with that, the primary way of execution is lethal injection.
It's like that.
Right.
Okay.
But there are certain states that reserve the right to execute prisoners if lethal injections ever taken away by different methods. One method is electrocution.
Okay, so that's the electric chair.
The electric chair.
Thinking of the Green Mile, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's the Green Mile is based in Tennessee, the movie. So
oh, that's true. Yeah. So the state Jim's living in, actually.
Right, and then so you have electrocution.
I hope they never forget to like wet the what's it called?
The sponge.
The sponge, yeah.
Yes.
Electrocution. Sorry.
Let's see. Hanging. You have hanging as well. And then death by firing squad, which a firing squad is, you know, like the old movies where they, in Texas, they give a guy a cigarette and a beer and then, you know, blindfold him and
shoot him.
They go shoot him and then Zorro runs in and saves the day.
Okay.
And then the last way is by gas chamber.
That is scary as hell, actually. But they're not doing it. It's just they reserve the right to, right?
They reserve the right to, right. There's 3 states that have the right to do that if lethal injection ever go away. I don't know why they chose that, but yeah, they do have that.
Yeah, that's scary. In Germany, as I said, death penalty is illegal in the Bundesrepublik Deutschland, the BRD, since like 1949 or 1952. Some, I think, old Nazis were killed like after 49. But and then in the GDR it was legal for a longer period of time, like in the I think 80s, but the last execution was in the 60s or something.
And that was kind of intense though, right? With people weren't actually killed in the east, they were brought into Moscow.
Yeah, they were brought into Moscow, they were killed in Moscow as far as I understood. And I think about 1,000 executions happened in the GDR, so actually quite a lot. Yeah,
that is that's a high number. With the United States since around 1970, somewhere in the 70s, to present day, there's been about 1,200, all of which have been male, except 8.
So only 8 women?
So 8 women have been executed. And I believe the state who's carried out the most executions in that time period is Texas.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, so about 1,200 people, and a big debate in the United States are 2 things right now.
Okay.
One, the cost. The cost of an execution is more than 4 times the amount if the death penalty is not on the ticket.
Okay.
So if you're being tried and you know the death penalty, like you can't get the death penalty, your trial will be cheaper.
Okay.
But legal fees are much more expensive. You will have more appeal court because they're going to do much more due diligence. You're going to have appeals.
It's more expensive, legal fees.
And then the actual cost of the execution is a factor. And with the prison system in the United States, there's a lot of debate on cost and all that. And that leads to kind of the second part of where the actual drug. The United States is having a hard time getting the drug because they used to buy it from a pharmaceutical company who I believe is based in Denmark, who is no longer selling it to the United States. And the reason for that is they said the United States, they did not know what the United States was doing with it.
Using the ingredient for,
Right, and so once they found out what it was being used for, they just elected not to sell it to the United States anymore. And the United States reached out to Germany for the drug, and Germany said, no, thank you.
I think it was Dr. Philip Rösler who just basically said, no, we're not going to sell it to you guys.
Right, and so what happened after that is they tried an experimental drug in Oklahoma, and the execution was botched. And so the prisoner did not die as peacefully and quickly as they assumed.
Right.
And I believe it was like something like the execution took about an hour, or is an hour until he passed away, in the sense of where they stopped it, and then he had cardiac arrest,
right,
a heart attack, and then died.
Okay, so I guess it's like the moral part of that entire of the death penalty, like the moral question, that's not really like a dominant discussion in the States right now.
No, I mean, obviously that's always a discussion,
right?
But when the biggest thing is the cost, and then the drug, and because there are so many states with the death penalty still, it's not going to be something that just goes away tomorrow,
right?
And because of that, that's where you get into the greater discussion of, if you take away lethal injection, what's next?
Okay.
So that's kind of the debate, but I think it's a bigger topic overseas and here than is in the United States.
Yeah, I think because in Germany, like the big thing is the moral question actually. Like, can the state actually take, like, does it have the right to actually kill someone? I think that's like the big moral question that people are wondering in Germany, and I'm pretty sure the majority of Germans would actually be against, or are looking at the death penalty in the United States very critical. And I would be kind of interested to see like what if they did a poll in Germany about like actually getting the death penalty, what like the numbers were. It would kind of be interesting. And the other interesting thing is, so like I know how Germans like to, or the German media is also always like looking down at the United States about the death penalty, but it's kind of interesting. California, for instance, had a poll, and they asked the population, like, are you guys for or against the death penalty? It was just a couple of years ago, and 60% of Californians were actually pro death penalty, which I was shocked by.
Yeah, California's a liberal state.
California's like one of the most liberal states in the United States, and so
I
mean, the thing is, like, what I'm trying to say is, I mean, if the populace basically, says explicitly, yes, we want the death penalty, what are you going to argue against that?
Right, and I don't even know. I mean, it's usually these topics are not so polarizing.
Right.
And I'm very comfortable with just speaking and making generalizations, because if you like a certain type of beer or don't, it doesn't really matter. But with this topic, I don't feel comfortable representing like what I think the opinion really is.
Right.
Because there are over 300 million people in the United States, and they everyone has their own opinion. So it's just it's a very polarizing topic, but it's something that's involved in our country. I think that's why people are very fascinated by it, because there are so many countries nowadays going away from it, and the United States is not.
Right. As we said, the death penalty is a super controversial topic. Put your opinion in the comments.
Play nice in the comments.
Try to play nice in the comments. And I think that's it for today.
Y'all take it easy.
Cheers.
Pack it up, son, bring it on home. Drag your feet and hang your head all you want.
That's it for today.
Y'all take it easy.
Cheers. What the hell? Okay.
Well, that one sucked.